Greetings, comic book friends. Let's do our Wednesday business, which is TGIW. Thank God it is Wednesday. Why do we thank God it is Wednesday? Because it's New Comic Book Day. It's the best day of the week. Nice little week here with some other stuff that I managed to pick up. Not too unreasonable. Have a total of 11 books. And I feel that I did pretty well on resisting some things that were on the shelf that I didn't get, but I was close. But yeah, everything is super solid. Well, I mean, depending on your definition of solid, I suppose. So, which may not pass that definition, but it's guilty pleasure, and I love it. Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids. I love this book. It's so stupid. But it takes me back. When Mad Balls and Garbage Pail Kids first came out, I was their target. At that time, I had them. I had some Mad Balls. I collected Garbage Pail Kid cards. This the writing of this is very obviously targeted towards children, like current children. And there's something that I find sort of endearing about it. There's many times when I've read these issues where I've sensible chuckled, right? I'm like, and be like, a kid would get that. That's pretty funny. Nothing like, Shakespearean or anything is happening in here. Nothing highbrow. It's just like, I don't know. It's just fun. I do love it. But yeah, overall, solid week. The only one that I'm not really looking forward to that much, surprisingly, is Amazing Spider-Man #9, because it's a Hellfire Gala tie-in. All the reasons I stopped reading any X-Men is because of their freaking crossing over with each other all the time, and I still can't get away from it. They still have to cross over into freaking everything. Stupid X-Men. So I think this is just a sort of one-off thing. We'll get back to normal Spider-Man stories after this. But I hate this crap. Like, I don't care about X-Men. I've done a very good job of purging my life of X-Men. Not that I have like a problem with the X-Men overall. Like, old X-Men stuff, there's great X-Men stuff out there. It's just I don't like the way that current X-Men are handled as far as just like you have to read all of it. All the crossovers and stuff. I hate it. Anyway, Sacrament #2 of 5. I really dug this first issue. It's The Exorcist in space. It's the far future, and those who are religious, like priests and whatnot, are basically outlawed. I think I don't know outlawed, but very looked down upon. But then someone gets possessed and like, science isn't helping us. This might be a demon. We need a priest. The first issue was very good. So I'm continuing on with that. Another Edge of Spider-Verse. So it looks like we have 2 new characters and 1 older character, which I'm really excited about. Spider-Man India. I love Spider-Man India. I don't think he gets used enough, and also, nowadays we have all these Spider characters, right? Especially coming out of Spider-Verse. But Spider-Man India, he came out way before all that stuff. The Spider-Man India miniseries was early to mid 2000s, somewhere around there. I mean, as far as alternative universe Spider people, we had Peter Porker, Spider-Man India, and I guess the original 1602 Peter Parker, 1602 Spider-Man. But like that was it. The idea of these alternate Spider people, the Spider-Verse, wasn't even a real thing. It was just, they were what ifs, right? Just, what if Spider-Man was born in India or whatever. But I really like Spider-Man India. I forget what his name. It's obviously it's some spin on Peter Parker, but using Indian names. It's like Uncle Beheem and anyway. And then it looks like sort of maybe a Felicia Hardy looking spider person, and then I don't know about that, but we'll find out. But Spider-Verse is super fun. So it looks like we're just getting these Edge of Spider-Verse issues, introducing a bunch of new Spider characters, looking back on some existing ones, just to introduce maybe a whole new cast of the leading up to the next Spider-Verse event. Savage Avengers number 5. I got back on the Savage Avengers train, and I am not disappointed. Last time we left off, it was not great, if I recall correctly. So they've been sent back to the Hyberian Age, and we're fighting. What's his name? The something Doom, the sorcerer. I don't remember. I'm not a huge Conan fan. I know it's like Thulsa Doom. Is it Thulsa Doom? That sounds right. And Deathlock was there. The Deathlock. I guess I'm not going to spoil that bit. But Deathlock is a thing, I guess, because there's cool reveals around that character that people are reading this maybe on the app or whatever. They haven't got to it yet. I don't want to spoil too much here. Conan is not in a good way, and I'm curious to see how they get around that. Let's see. Mindset number 3. Man, I love this book. This book is not quite, but I haven't got the feelings for this book since I first read Department of Truth. So these tech students discover a frequency that basically makes people highly suggestible and can make them do what they want to do. So, like, if you get that, if you learn that, what do you do with that information? Like, they're not bad people, right? They don't want to put it to nefarious uses. They don't want to give it out to like governments or sell it or whatever, because then bad things will happen to it, and they don't want to be evil. So you have a pact of, we're not going to use it on each other. We're not going to force people to do like these sorts of things. Like, that would be bad. But what they're going to do is, but it could be used for like highly suggestive marketing. What they do is decide to make an app that is basically like a relaxation app, where it basically hypnotizes or demands people to be more relaxed and be happier and all this stuff, where it's not actually like any sort of meditation secret. It's actually, it's disguised as meditation, where it's actually sending the signal and saying, achieve your goals or whatever. But at the same time, like, you have this power, and it's just really interesting. A lot of good questions arise of, if you had this ability, and what would you do with it if someone, I don't know. It's really good. Highly suggest it. Spider-Punk number 5. So we're the Spider-Man is up against Norman Osborn, or Norman Osborn's head, a venomized Norman Osborn's head, and they're kicking butt with punk rock music. We have a punk Hulk, which I'm super excited about seeing. But yeah, I think this was the last issue of this. It's been a lot of fun. It was a lot more fun than I expected it to be honest. Daredevil number 3. Zdarsky is doing great. He's knocking it out of the park with his Daredevil. Daredevil and Elektra Daredevil are going to take over the Fist, which is like the contrary to the Hand, and are like, we're going to take the Hand down once and for all. Let's see. Which is also interesting because the Punisher is running the Hand right now, or is a big part of the hand. So, Superman, Son of Kal-El, continues to be great. A very long story arc going on. The country is creating superheroes and is able to mind control them. And now John and his boyfriend, who is one of these superpowered people from this other country, have gathered a bunch of others to go and overthrow this dictator that has taken the country over. It's a really good story. It's really good. Silver Coin number 14. This I can never predict because again it's a different story every time with different creative team. I am still for the most part really enjoying it. The last few issues have been really great. I'd say overall, the vast majority of these have been very enjoyable. So if it continues that, I will continue reading it. And Predator number 2. So basically it's this lady who had her family killed when she was younger is hunting a predator. She was on the other foot, I suppose. But yeah, only the first issue's been out, so I went ahead and so before the first issue came out, I subscribed to it because I was like, I'm probably going to be into it, and I'll at least give the first full arc a go, so I might as well add it to the poll. So that's it for the comics that came out this week. 11 super solid books. And I'm man, I've been cutting down on like the indie limited series and whatnot because it's just it inflates my my weekly purchases too much. But I gotta say, like, the 2 books I'm most looking forward to are Mindset and Sacrament. So man, I don't know. It makes me like, man, what am I missing out on? I don't know. It's tough. Mindset though. What would you do? What would you do if you man, it's so hard. And what would you do if you had this ability? It's not controlling people. It's suggesting things to people and they do it, but it's not like I have full control over you all the time. It's I have to give you this. You have to be put in front of this signal, and I tell you something, right? It's not like from a distance I can just control people, or they can just control people. But you think about if you discovered that, if you had that ability, you'd like to think that you wouldn't use it for evil, but until that power is in your hand, like, can you be so sure that you wouldn't be able to resist some sort of temptation, or like do like, okay, just this once, right? And then just that once turns into, okay, just one more time, and then it's just I have a feeling. I just have a feeling that's where this is going to go, and I find that to be a very interesting philosophical thought experiment. So I think that's why I'm most excited for this. But let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think you could resist the urge to use it in ways that probably shouldn't be used? All right, so I did get 2 other things. One I had ordered. It's not new. It's new to me. I didn't know it was a thing. I got Vampire Hunter D Omnibus 1. So I knew Vampire Hunter D. I knew it as an anime that came out long ago, and I don't know if there's been another one since that one. I enjoyed it. It was interesting. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember enjoying it. And I had just assumed that the anime was based off of a manga, right? As most anime is, right? It starts off as a manga. Maybe it starts off as an anime, but turns into a manga. But there's that relationship there. And it turns out that it's not true. Vampire Hunter D is a series of novels, of, like prose novels. And I didn't know that. And I found that really intriguing. Obviously, originally written in Japanese. They have released two, I believe, and a third is on the way. Dark Horse has collections of those novels. And I looked up afterwards, and there's a lot of them. But this has the first three Vampire Hunter D novels. I don't know. I just thought the idea of that was, and the idea of, it's a vampire in the year 12,090. Like, that's going to be cool. But it looks like they're each about, 200 pages long, something like that. So a reasonably, it's not too short, not too long for each one. It just seemed like it'd be interesting thing to do. And I don't read manga, and I don't have anything against it. It's just one of those things where, like, if I opened up that door, then I'd be in a whole lot of trouble of buying and reading and things. Like, I have enough to read that I'll never get caught up without adding manga to that pile. Both, mentally, financially, and physically. Where would it all go? I don't know. But this seemed really interesting. So I saw what happened is book 2 had come out, and I saw it on the shelf, and I looked at it, and I was like, I didn't know this was a thing. So I went back and ordered book 1. Seemed like a good place to start. And the other thing that I got that I didn't know was coming out, I saw it, and I pretty much had to get it. So Mad Woman of the Sacred Heart, all this humanoid stuff, it's not tied into the In-Call, as far as I know, or Metabarons or all that stuff, but it's Mobius and Jodorowsky, which I love that team. Mobius as an artist is fantastic. Obviously, a fan. And Jodorowsky as well. I love In-Call. I love Metabarons. So when you put the two of them together, like I mean, I really didn't have to read the back of it to see what it was about. I did, because, I'm not totally going to buy a pig in a poke, but it sounded definitely very, very different from their normal work. Well, maybe not Mobius, but Jodorowsky, very sci-fi heavy, right? This is not that at all. You can probably tell by the cover, it's not that at all. But it sounded interesting, so I love the team, so I picked that up. So I'm excited to read that. But that is it. A nice solid week, probably a little more expensive than I wanted it to be with the, this is a $20 and this was, I think, $40. So, $60 over what I normally would have just spent for the week. But it's, one, I pre-ordered, knew it was coming. The $40, not expecting that. It was a little bit harder, but it is what it is. It's Mobius and Jodorowsky. What are you gonna do? I'm only human. But yeah, that's it. So let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. So first of all, are you reading Mindset? I really want to know. Second, would you read Mindset? Because I think everyone should. Well, not everyone. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I highly suggest it. And 3, what would you do? What would you do in that case? Oh, man, I'm so excited to see where they go with that. But that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all of that, and of course, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.